That dream mirror will work once again, my friends. Yes, it is your boy, Sugoi Charm here. And I'd like to tell you something really simple. Who in their right mind would think of Dream Mirror? Well, this man right here. I have the biggest dream, and I dare say it's quite large. Now, let's take a look at this, shall we? I call it the joy of chaos because that's honestly how I felt when I was making it. I was like, whew, Dream Mirror. Then I will go on a little more into it, and I said, this deck is almost unplayable. This deck is missing so many core features that other decks could have. Toons could play better than this deck. War Rocks could honestly probably play better than this deck. Now, I may be underselling Dream Mirror a little bit by saying War Rocks could play better than them, but War Rocks are a pretty tough contender for this deck, I'd probably say. So, this is probably one of the decks I probably tried working out the most. And I mean the most. I've looked through so many people's deck lists. I've looked through so many goddamn cards to see how the fuck this deck will work. And with as much pride as a man who can say that put a Dragon Link engine in here can say, I've done it. But let's go through the cards first, then I'll explain how it works. So, we got our dark, we got the villain, we got the hero, we got the good boy, we got the bad boy, we got the extenders, 3 of them, we got the 3 Ikalos darks, and we got the 3 Ikalos lights, we got Chaos Creator as a pretty cool extender, we got Dark Dragon, White Dragon, and Fairy Dragon, or Omni Dragon as you may call him. For extenders that I'll talk about later, one of the fusions that says Chaos and not Fusion, which we'll talk about later in much detail. The card that searches the part of the archetype that you don't want to search. The cards that make the archetype literally unplayable if you don't have them on field. More extenders that I'll talk about later with these extender boys. The trap you need to have in your hand or else this deck is unfucking playable. Plus 3 more to search it, and plus the 2 to cycle them back from your banishment zone. Now, the extra deck, you can literally change out Phoenix, Unicorn, Code, Underworld Goddess, IP, and Link and IP pretty much. Because you just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could remove those 5 essentially for whatever the hell you want. But this is how I'm playing it. So I have 2 Urklings, 2 Urklings, 2 Tormentors, 1 Fusion, Venom Fusion Dragon, 1 of Underworld Goddess, 1 of Access Code, 1 of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 of the Phoenix, 2 of Proxy F Magician, which I'll talk about later, 1 IAP Masquerena, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Striker Dragon, and 1 Link Karibo. Now, this is the joy of chaos. And I found a pretty niche combo, which I will talk about the Dragon Link quote-unquote combo first. So essentially, you're running the Chaos space in the Dragon Link cards to search out either White Dragon or Black Dragon. So then you can go into Striker Dragon. Once you do that, one of their effects activates, you grab the other one, and so then you can easily make Proxy F Magician. Now, I run extenders like crazy because Proxy F Magician allows you to fusion summon. And these fine fusions are not limited to their fusion card, so meaning they can be fused with anything except for Verte Anaconda, because guess what? It says Chaos, not Fusion or Polymerization. Which in my head I was like, Verte Anaconda, it's a pretty easy card I can make with this Dragon Link engine. No, I can't. The deck literally cannot use one of the strongest Link 2s in the format. And that makes me a little sad. But you can easily make Proxy F Magician, and you're like, well, Proxy F Magician only works if you have cards in the field. My boy Chaos Creator. Because you're most likely going to send a Dream Mirror card to your graveyard. In Chaos Creator, you have 3 who are banished, which you almost always should. If you draw him, he will bless you with a free special summon. He's a pretty good extender. That's why I run Venom Fusion Dragon, because sometimes you can't make one of the fusions, and you could just Proxy F Magician him, because he's the only generic fusion, sadly. Which honestly makes me a little big sad. But now, let's talk about the Dream Mirror combos. There is none. You either have one of the level 1s in hand or one of the fusion spells in hand. If you don't have any of them, you just Dragon Link combo and hope you have that in your hand. Honestly, that's what it is. But, I don't know. I was thinking of a way that was more generic. A more interesting build, because everyone's like, let's just do Dreamier only. Nah, I said, what if I try to combo this? Combo Dreamiers are not good. You are not going to be topping any events with this deck. Let me just show you. That, into that, into that. This is your best play in this hand. This is the best play you can do, except for probably activate you and grab a Dark Morpheus. That's if they don't negate it with Astral. Summon the lady. Summon you to ditch the Omni Dragon. Summon you. Like, I tried to make this playable. Like, the people saying that they made competitively viable versions of the deck are probably lying, because this deck is not competitively viable, or casually viable, honestly. If Warrock can beat this, I think every deck in the format could beat this with ease. Hell, this deck doesn't even have a Link monster, honestly. It has no the fusion monsters aren't that great. It's just, this deck has nothing going for it. Like, after I make my Dragon Link, there's nothing. Like, nothing to do. I could summon you, then do this, then I can make fucking Fun Man. Ooh, and if I had a extra monster hand, I could have summoned him with Proxy of Magician. Ooh, I can end my turn. Now this is your strongest board. Ooh, you could activate this in your opponent's main phase. And you could also set you. And you can activate it on the same phase. Look at this spooky card. Give terror to me and give you the joy. Spooky. I can activate his effect to negate stuff. Oh, Halo Chaos Creator, that's a good top deck. Man, I wonder if this deck could ever be competitively viable. I don't know. This is pretty much the deck. It is not the greatest. Hell, if they made support for it, I would definitely look at it again. But currently, this is one of the best versions that I can think of. Hell, you could probably replace the 2 Chaos Creators with Chaos Daedalus, which is probably a pretty good choice. Oh, what did I search? There we go, Chaos Daedalus. He's a pretty good choice because he depends. If you have field spells, he can actually banish stuff, which is pretty damn busted. But it's your choice to run Daedalus. I run Chaos Creator as an extender to get my banished cards out of my, well, banish zone. But that's honestly the deck, and there's not much else I could really add to this except for a shit ton of hand traps. And honestly, that wouldn't even help this deck. But this has been Dreamier, and I'll see you in the next one.